Hey everyone, Eric here. Today we're diving into a book that's, honestly, a total game changer for parents. The book you wish your parents had read. We're going to break down why this book has become such a big deal. So, let's get right into it.
Okay, let's just be real for a second. Have you ever found yourself in that loop? You know the one. You lose your cool with your kids, you yell, and then later that night, bam, the guilt just hits you like a truck. You swear you'll be better tomorrow, but then it happens again. Sound familiar? Yeah, you are definitely not alone.
So, what gives? Why is this cycle so hard to break? Well, according to the author, psychologist Philippa Perry, the answer is probably not what you think. She argues the problem isn't your child, and it's not about finding some magical new parenting hack. The real key is actually hidden in your childhood. It's time to look inward. All right, first up, your childhood's hidden script. So, what does that even mean? How is it possible that something that happened decades ago is running the show now, a lot of times without you even knowing it?
You know, a lot of the time we think our reactions are just parental instinct. But what if they're not? This is where the book introduces a really powerful concept, emotional inheritance. Think of it like this. It's the default software that our parents installed in us, and it just runs automatically in the background.
Okay, here's a perfect example of how this works. Let's say when you were a kid, every time you cried, your mom got super anxious and said something like, "Stop crying or I won't like you." What's the message you learned there? Crying is bad, negative feelings are dangerous. So now, fast forward to today. Your own kid starts crying, and what happens? You feel that same anxiety. It's not really about your kid's scraped knee. It's a trigger for your old programming. That's exactly how this stuff gets passed down.
There's another story in the book that really hits home. It's about a dad who would absolutely lose it, full-on rage, if his kid left even a single grain of rice on their plate. You might think, wow, that's a bit much, but here's the backstory. He grew up really poor and was once punished, severely for spilling some milk. So for him, that one grain of rice wasn't just rice. It was a flashback to scarcity, fear, and punishment. His anger wasn't about his kid at all. It was his own past trauma showing up at the dinner table. So look, the point of all this is absolutely not to blame our parents. They were probably just running on the software their parents gave them. The real goal here is awareness, because once you see the script, you can hit pause. And in that little space between the trigger, like the spilled rice, and your reaction, that's where you get to choose. That's where you break the cycle.
Okay, so knowing this stuff is one thing, but what do you actually do with it in the moment? That brings us to our next section, feelings are not behaviors. This is super practical. All right, this quote from Philippa Perry right here is pretty much the core of it all. All feelings are acceptable, not all behavior is acceptable. Man, if you just remember this one thing, it can change everything. It's about separating what's going on inside your kid from what they're doing on the outside.
I love this analogy the book uses. Think of your kid's emotions like a fire alarm. When it goes off, you don't just run over and smash it with a hammer to make it stop, right? No, you look for the fire. A tantrum is the same thing. It's not just annoying noise, it's a signal. And our job as parents is to be the detective and figure out, okay, what's the fire here? Not just be the guy who yells, "Turn that thing off."
So, in the middle of a meltdown, how do you play detective? It's this simple two-step process. Connect, then redirect. First, you connect. You literally put their feeling into words for them. Wow, you look so angry right now. I get it, you really wanted that toy. That simple step makes them feel understood. Then, and only then, do you move to step 2, redirect. It's okay to feel super angry, but it's not okay to hit. You can tell me with your words how mad you are. You see? You're not shutting down the feeling. You're just putting a boundary on the action.
All right, next up, this one is huge. For anyone who's ever felt that pressure to be a perfect parent, this next section is for you. It's about the power of "I'm sorry."
The book calls this rupture and repair. A rupture is basically any time you mess up. You yell, you get distracted by your phone, you misunderstand them, and the connection breaks. And here's the most freeing part. Ruptures are gonna happen. You can't avoid them. You're not a perfect robot parent. The secret to a strong relationship isn't never messing up. It's getting really good at the repair part.
So what does a good repair actually sound like? It's a real, genuine apology. And here's a simple 4-step recipe for it. First, just say it. "I'm so sorry I yelled at you." No buts. Step 2, and this is so important, name their feeling. "You must have felt really scared when I was so loud."
Then, step 3, you can briefly explain yourself, but without making excuses. I was feeling super rushed, and that's my stuff to deal with, not your fault. And finally, step 4, tell them how you'll try to do better. Next time I feel that way, I'm going to try to use a calm voice. That right there, that's not weakness. That's teaching them everything about responsibility and trust.
Okay, let's pull all these pieces together. This leads us to our final big idea: connection over correction.
So when you boil it all down, here are your key takeaways. First, look back. You got to understand your own programming to break the old cycles. Second, act now. Remember, all feelings are okay, but not all behaviors are. Connect first, then guide. And third, build the future. Get good at saying sorry. Your mistakes are actually your best opportunities to build an even stronger bond.
You know, what this book is really offering isn't a strict map with a bunch of rules to follow. It's more like a compass. And the needle on that compass always points to one thing: the connection you have with your child. If you just focus on keeping that connection strong, you'll pretty much always find your way.
So I want to leave you with this one question to think about. What would actually change for you, like tomorrow morning, if your main goal wasn't to raise a perfect kid, but instead just to build a really strong, authentic connection with the kid you've got right in front of you?
Well, I hope this explainer gave you some good stuff to think about on your own parenting journey. It's definitely not easy, but man, it is so worth it. If you got something out of this, it would be awesome if you could hit like, subscribe, and maybe share it. It really helps us get the word out.
And hey, we really want to know what you think. Is there a book you want us to break down next? Drop it in the comments below. Thanks so much for hanging out with me today. I'm Eric, and I'll see you in the next one.